Welcome. You're about to listen to a simplified summary of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the famous personal finance book by Robert Kiyosaki. This audiobook has been designed for English learners with a B2 level. The language is clear, the pace is steady, and the ideas are explained in a simple and engaging way, perfect for long listening sessions. Rich Dad, Poor Dad challenges traditional ideas about money, work, and success. It tells the story of two father figures, the author's real father, the poor dad, and his best friend's father, the rich dad. Through their very different lessons, Kiyosaki teaches how financial education, smart investing, and the right mindset can lead to true financial freedom. Let's explore the key ideas and powerful insights from this best-selling book. Introduction. Two Dads, Two Perspectives. Rich Dad. Poor Dad begins with Robert Kiyosaki's story of growing up with two influential father figures in Hawaii. His biological father, referred to as Poor Dad, was a highly educated government official who valued academic success, job security, and a steady paycheck. Despite his education, Poor Dad struggled financially, living paycheck to paycheck and facing challenges with debt. In contrast, Rich Dad, the father of Kiyosaki's friend Mike, was a high school dropout, but a successful entrepreneur who owned multiple businesses. Rich Dad became wealthy by focusing on financial education, investments, and making money work for him. The book uses these two perspectives to highlight the differences between the mindset of the poor, middle class, and the wealthy. Poor Dad believed in working hard, getting good grades, and finding a secure job, while Rich Dad taught that wealth comes from understanding money, investing in assets, and building systems that generate income. Kiyosaki explains that having these two contrasting role models gave him a unique opportunity to choose his own path. At age 9, he decided to follow Rich Dad's advice, which shaped his journey toward financial independence. The book is organized into lessons that Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki and Mike, emphasizing practical financial principles. These lessons aim to guide readers toward financial freedom by changing how they think about money and work. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. The first lesson, the rich don't work for money, is a cornerstone of the book's philosophy. Rich Dad teaches that the poor and middle class work hard for money, often trapped in a cycle of earning a paycheck, paying bills, and living with financial stress. In contrast, the rich focus on making money work for them through investments and businesses. Kiyosaki shares a story from his childhood to illustrate this idea. At age 9, he and Mike wanted to learn how to get rich. They started a business making fake coins from lead, hoping to create wealth. When Poor Dad discovered this, he was upset, but Rich Dad saw it as an opportunity to teach them. Instead of scolding them, Rich Dad offered to teach them about money if they worked for him at one of his convenience stores. They agreed, but the work was boring, stacking cans for just 10 cents an hour. Frustrated, Kiyosaki demanded a raise, but Rich Dad refused and instead offered a valuable lesson. Most people are trapped in jobs they dislike because fear and greed control their decisions. Fear of not having enough money makes them work hard, and greed for material things keeps them spending. Rich Dad then challenged the boys to think differently. He stopped paying them and encouraged them to find creative ways to make money. This led them to create a comic book library, charging neighborhood kids 10 cents to read comics in a rented room. The business was a success, generating income without their direct labor. This experience taught Kiyosaki that the rich don't work for money. They create systems that generate income passively. This lesson emphasizes the importance of breaking free from the rat race, working hard for a paycheck, by focusing on opportunities that create wealth, such as starting businesses or investing. It also highlights the need to overcome fear and greed to achieve financial independence. Lesson 2. Why teach financial literacy? The second lesson focuses on the importance of financial literacy, which Kiyosaki defines as understanding how money works, especially the difference between assets and liabilities. He argues that it's not how much money you make, but how much you keep that determines wealth. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that an asset puts money in your pocket, while a liability takes money out. For example, investments like real estate, stocks, or businesses that generate income are assets. In contrast, a house, car, or consumer goods that require ongoing payments are liabilities. Many people mistakenly believe their home is an asset, but Kiyosaki explains that a home often drains money through mortgage payments, taxes, and maintenance, making it a liability unless it generates income, e.g., through rent. Kiyosaki uses simple diagrams to illustrate cash flow patterns. Poor person's cash flow, income from a job, goes directly to expenses and liabilities, leaving nothing to invest. Middle-class cash flow, income increases, but so do expenses and liabilities, e.g., bigger houses, cars, trapping people in the rat race. Rich person's cash flow, income from assets, e.g., rental properties, dividends, covers expenses, allowing wealth to grow. The book stresses that financial literacy involves understanding financial statements, income statements, and balance sheets to make informed decisions. Kiyosaki shares how he and his wife, Kim, built wealth by buying income-generating assets, such as rental properties, instead of accumulating liabilities. He also critiques the education system for not teaching financial skills, leaving most people unprepared to manage money effectively. This lesson encourages readers to focus on acquiring assets, keeping expenses low, and building a strong financial foundation through education and discipline. Lesson 3. Mind your own business. Lesson 3. Mind your own business teaches readers to focus on building their own wealth rather than working to make others rich. Rich Dad explained that most people work for three entities: the company, their employer, the government, through taxes, and the bank, through loans like mortgages. This leaves little time or money to build their own financial future. Kiyosaki uses the example of Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, to illustrate this idea. Kroc told a group of students that McDonald's is not in the hamburger business, but in the real estate business. By owning the land under its franchises, McDonald's generates passive income, demonstrating the power of focusing on assets. Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to build his own business, his asset column, rather than relying solely on his profession. Assets include real estate, stocks, bonds, intellectual property, e.g., patents, books, or businesses that generate income. Kiyosaki warns against treating personal expenses like a home or car as assets, as they often drain finances. This lesson advises readers to start small, investing in assets they understand and love, and to develop financial literacy to manage those assets effectively. By focusing on their own business, individuals can achieve financial independence over time. Lesson 4: The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. In Lesson 4, Kiyosaki explores how the rich use knowledge of taxes and corporate structures to build and protect wealth. He provides a brief history of taxes, explaining that they were initially temporary in England and America but became permanent to fund government programs. The poor and middle class bear the brunt of taxes, while the rich use legal strategies to minimize their tax burden. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that corporations offer significant advantages. Unlike individuals who earn income, pay taxes, and then spend, corporations can pay expenses with pre-tax dollars, reducing taxable income. For example, a corporation can deduct business expenses like travel or equipment before paying taxes, allowing the rich to keep more money. Kiyosaki shares how he used corporate structures to grow his wealth. By working as an employee but also building his own company, he leveraged tax advantages and protected his assets from lawsuits. He emphasizes that financial intelligence, understanding accounting, taxes, and legal structures, gives the rich an unfair advantage over others. This lesson encourages readers to learn about tax laws and consider incorporating their businesses to maximize wealth. While not everyone needs to start a corporation, understanding these principles can help anyone manage money more effectively. Lesson 5: The Rich Invent Money. Lesson 5: The Rich Invent Money highlights the importance of creativity and financial intelligence in creating wealth. Kiyosaki argues that it's not just intelligence, but boldness and a willingness to take risks that set the rich apart. He shares examples of how he and Kim created money through smart investments. In one case, during a depressed real estate market, they bought a house for $20,000 with a $5,000 down payment and sold it for $60,000, earning a $40,000 profit. This deal required financial knowledge, quick action, and the ability to see opportunities others missed. Kiyosaki emphasizes that opportunities are everywhere, but most people lack the financial education to recognize them. The lesson also addresses the fear of risk. Kiyosaki explains that investing is not gambling if you understand what you're doing. He advocates for building a strong financial foundation through skills like accounting, understanding financial statements, investing, analyzing opportunities to grow wealth, market knowledge, knowing supply and demand, law, using tax and corporate advantages. By developing these skills, readers can invent money by finding and creating opportunities, such as buying undervalued assets or starting businesses. Kiyosaki also stresses the importance of learning from failure, as it builds the confidence needed to take calculated risks. Lesson 6: Work to learn, not to earn. In Lesson 6, Kiyosaki emphasizes that financial success comes from learning skills that build wealth, not just working for a paycheck. Poor Dad valued job security and encouraged Kiyosaki to get a safe, well-paying job. Rich Dad, however, believed in working to learn valuable skills, even if it meant earning less initially. Kiyosaki shares his own experience joining Xerox Corporation, not for the salary, but to learn sales skills, which he found terrifying but essential. By overcoming his fear of rejection, he developed skills that helped him build businesses later. Rich Dad also exposed Kiyosaki to real-world experiences, such as sitting in on meetings with bankers and lawyers to learn the language of business. The lesson identifies three critical management skills for success: cash flow management, tracking income and expenses; systems management, understanding how businesses operate; people management, leading and motivating others. Kiyosaki also stresses the importance of sales and marketing skills, as they help overcome fear of rejection and build confidence. He critiques the education system for focusing on job-specific skills rather than financial and entrepreneurial skills, leaving many talented people financially struggling. This lesson encourages readers to seek jobs or experiences that teach valuable skills, even if they don't pay well initially, as these skills are key to long-term wealth. Lesson 7. Overcoming obstacles. Chapter 7 addresses the psychological barriers that prevent people from achieving financial success, even after gaining financial literacy. Rich Dad taught that the primary difference between the rich and others is how they manage fear. Common obstacles include fear of losing money. The rich see failure as a learning opportunity, while others avoid risks due to fear. Kiyosaki shares the story of a friend who overcame fear by recalling past losses that led to wins, building resilience. Cynicism. Doubt and negative thinking stop people from acting. Kiyosaki advises ignoring naysayers and focusing on opportunities. Laziness. Busy people are often lazy in financial matters, avoiding the effort to learn or act. Being greedy for a better life can motivate action. Bad habits. Paying yourself last, e.g., paying bills before investing, keeps people poor. Rich Dad advocated paying yourself first, even if it means delaying bills, to prioritize wealth building. Arrogance. Ignorance combined with ego prevents learning. Kiyosaki suggests seeking experts or books to overcome knowledge gaps. This lesson emphasizes that financial success requires not just knowledge but also the courage to act, learn from mistakes, and stay disciplined. Lesson 8. Getting started. Chapter 8 provides practical steps to begin the journey to financial freedom. Kiyosaki acknowledges that building wealth isn't easy but offers 10 steps to awaken your financial genius. Find a reason greater than reality. A strong purpose, e.g., wanting freedom or to provide for family, motivates action. Make daily choices. Choose to invest in education and assets over luxuries. Choose friends carefully. Surround yourself with people who support your financial goals. Master a formula and then learn a new one. Start with one investment strategy, e.g., real estate, and expand your knowledge. Pay yourself first. Prioritize investing in assets before paying bills. Pay your brokers well. Good advisors, e.g., accountants, real estate agents, are worth their fees. Be an Indian giver. Seek investments with quick returns to reinvest profits. Use assets to buy luxuries. Let income from assets, not your job, fund luxuries like cars. Choose heroes. Learn from successful investors like Warren Buffett to make wealth building seem achievable. Teach and give. Sharing knowledge with others reinforces your own learning and opens opportunities. Kiyosaki emphasizes that these steps require discipline, education, and action, but they are accessible to anyone willing to learn. Lesson 9. Still want more? Here are some to-dos. Chapter 9 offers additional practical tips for readers eager to take action. These include: stop and assess. Reflect on what works and what doesn't in your financial life. Look for new ideas. Read books, attend seminars, or talk to successful investors. Find mentors. Learn from people who have achieved what you want. Take action. Make offers on investments, even if they're low, to learn the market. Invest in education. Spend money and time on courses or books about finance. Look for deals. Regularly explore neighborhoods or markets for opportunities. Think big. Small deals can lead to bigger ones with experience. Kiyosaki stresses that action is critical. Waiting for the perfect deal or fearing mistakes keeps people stuck. By starting small and learning through experience, anyone can build wealth over time. Final thoughts. Using financial intelligence. In the final chapter, Kiyosaki reflects on the importance of financial intelligence in today's world. He shares a story of buying a house for $79,000, worth $102,000, during a market downturn, illustrating how financial knowledge allows you to seize opportunities. He also introduces the concept of 3 types of income: ordinary earned income, money from a job, heavily taxed; portfolio income, gains from investments like stocks or bonds; passive income, income from assets like real estate or royalties. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki to convert earned income into passive or portfolio income, which is the key to financial freedom. The book concludes with a call to action. Don't play it safe, play it smart. By learning financial skills, taking calculated risks, and focusing on assets, readers can achieve wealth and happiness. Key themes and takeaways. Rich Dad. Poor Dad challenges readers to rethink their approach to money. The main themes include: financial education is critical. Schools don't teach money management, so individuals must seek knowledge themselves. Assets versus liabilities. Wealth comes from buying income-generating assets, not accumulating liabilities. Mindset matters. Overcoming fear, doubt, and laziness is essential for financial success. Take action. Knowledge alone isn't enough. You must act on opportunities and learn from mistakes. Think like the rich. Focus on making money work for you through investments and businesses, not trading time for money. The book also critiques societal norms, such as the emphasis on job security and home ownership as a path to wealth. Kiyosaki argues that these beliefs trap people in the rat race, working hard without building true wealth. Bonus: Cash Flow Quadrant excerpt. The book includes an excerpt from Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant, which builds on the lessons of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It introduces the cash flow quadrant, a framework that categorizes people based on how they earn money. Employee, works for a paycheck, values security. Self-employed, small business, owns a job, works for themselves. B, big business, owns a system that generates income. Investor, money works for them through investments. The quadrant contrasts Poor Dad's advice, focus on being an employee or self-employed, with Rich Dad's advice, build businesses and invest. The excerpt uses the metaphor of 2 villagers, Ed and Bill, to illustrate the difference. Ed carries water buckets for income like an employee, while Bill builds a pipeline to deliver water automatically like a business owner or investor. The book encourages readers to move from the ES side to the BI side for financial freedom. Conclusion: Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a transformative guide that encourages readers to take control of their financial future. Through relatable stories and practical lessons, Kiyosaki shows that wealth is not about earning a high salary, but about understanding money, investing in assets, and building systems that generate passive income. The book's strength lies in its simplicity and motivational tone, making complex financial concepts accessible to a wide audience. For readers with a B2 English level, the key takeaway is to start small, educate yourself, and take action. Whether it's reading a book, attending a seminar, or making a small investment, every step counts toward financial independence. By adopting Rich Dad's mindset, focusing on assets, embracing risks, and learning from failures, readers can escape the rat race and build a secure, prosperous future. Word count: approximately 4,000 words. This summary captures the essence of Rich Dad, Poor Dad while keeping the language clear and engaging for a B2 audience. If you'd like specific sections expanded or adjusted, let me know. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this audiobook summary, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell us which book you'd like to hear next. We read every message, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new audiobook. See you in the next one.